The Divergent franchise consists of 3 movies, all of which premiered 1 year after the other, making the order in which to watch Divergent, the Divergent series, Insurgent, and the Divergent series, Allegiant uncomplicated. Neil Burger directed the first film, while Robert Schwenke helmed the other 2, but they were all produced by Lucy Fisher, Douglas Wick, and Puya Shabazian and based on one of Veronica Roth's Divergent books. Similar to the movies, Roth published each installment in her Divergent trilogy annually, from 2011 to 2013, and didn't make fans wait very long to find out what happened next. The Divergent movies chronicle a dystopian future where the world is divided into 5 factions based on virtues: abnegation, amity, candor, dauntless, and erudite. Abnegation contains the selfless, amity refers to the peaceful, candor is the honest, dauntless is considered the brave, and erudite features the intelligent. When a child turns 16, the government forces them to take an aptitude test informing them of their best matched faction, but they get to pick their group at the choosing ceremony. However, some are factionless, while others whose test results show more than one faction are deemed divergent and a threat to the government. The Divergent movies in release order. The Divergent film series began in 2015. Summit Entertainment bought the film rights to Veronica Roth's Divergent book series in 2011, and the film production company immediately got to work developing a movie based on the first novel. Evan Doherty and Vanessa Taylor wrote a script based on the 2011 book, while casting for Divergent was finished by early 2013 and filming began in April 2013. Divergent ultimately earned mixed reviews upon its release but was a box office success, resulting in 2 sequels, the Divergent series, Insurgent, and the Divergent series, Allegiant, and 3 movies overall. Following the success of the first installment, the studio went ahead with a sequel, the Divergent series, Insurgent, which was also a commercial triumph. The third and final book, Allegiant, was initially titled the Divergent series, Allegiant, Part 1, as it covered the novel's first half. However, the production studio later dropped the Part 1 section of the title. The adaptation of Allegiant's second half, aka the 4th film, was renamed the Divergent series, Ascendant, although it was never produced, more on that below. Consequently, the Divergent movies ended early. The Divergent movies in chronological order. The chronological order is the same as the release order. Shailene Woodley narrowing missing a knife thrown at her in Divergent. Thankfully, Divergent's timeline is linear, so the chronological order to watch them is the same as the release order. Fans should start with Divergent, 2014, which introduces the audience to a dystopian world separated by factions, followed by the Divergent series, Insurgent, 2015, and finish with the Divergent series, Allegiant, 2016. Although Veronica Roth never specified what year the Divergent franchise takes place, the films claim it's 3079, more than 1,000 years into the future. Additionally, despite Trist's drastic hair growth between the second and third Divergent movies, the trilogy occurs over the course of around 5.5 months. How Divergent's cancelled movie and TV show would have fit into the franchise's timeline. Divergent 4 was supposed to premiere in 2017. Shailene Woodley in Divergent. As mentioned above, the final Divergent movie was cancelled, while a potential spin-off TV series was also nixed. So, the film franchise ended unfinished with the Divergent series, Allegiant as the last installment. The third movie received the worst reviews out of the trilogy and was considered a box office bomb, as it only grossed $179.2 million against an estimated budget of $110 to $142 million. Additionally, some cast members, like Shailene Woodley, weren't interested in making a 4th film if it wasn't a theatrical release. As a result, the Divergent franchise concluded on a cliffhanger with Allegiant. The Divergent series, Ascendant, would have picked up right where the Divergent series, Allegiant, left off and adapted the second half of the last book in Veronica Roth's trilogy. Not much is known about the spin-off TV show, which Starz was developing, but it sounded like the idea was for it to follow new characters in the franchise and have it take place after the Divergent series, Ascendant. Nevertheless, the 4th movie and TV series were cancelled, so fans just have the first 3 Divergent films to watch. How the Divergent movie and book timelines differ. The adaptation made many changes to the order of events. The 3 Divergent movies made many changes to the narrative of the original novels by Veronica Roth, and there are many differences in the timelines of the 2. While the plot is more or less the same in broad terms, the movies switch the order of certain moments, altered the age of certain characters, and even pushed back key moments so much they happened in a different film to the one they should have. For example, Lynn and Marlene are introduced in the novel Divergent. However, in the movie series they don't appear until Insurgent, played by Rosa Salazar and Suki Waterhouse, respectively. Another key difference when it comes to Lynn is that she's killed at the end of Insurgent in the novel series, but is still alive at the end of the 2015 movie, though she did not return for Allegiant, suggesting she died off-screen. Max also dies in Insurgent in the books, though it's in the Allegiant movie that his on-screen counterpart meets their end. Unfortunately, since the final movie in the Divergent series never emerged, it's impossible to know if there would have been differences in the timeline for the ending of the story. However, given some of the major changes made for the on-screen adaptation, it seems very likely there would have been. All in all, there are dozens of differences between the Divergent series movies and books, and this includes for the timeline. While most YA adaptations make plot alterations, the amount in Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant is notably high. While these changes aren't necessarily the reason the franchise wasn't the success story it was predicted to have been, it does create questions over whether the film series would have fared better had it stayed truer to Veronica Roth's story.